Hi guys, it's Baldrick here, and in today's episode, I'd like to go over some tips I have for battlefields, land, attack vehicles. So that includes the tank, and I guess it's the LAV, or you can, call it infantry fighting vehicle, or LAV, light armored vehicle. So I'll be going over those two. I have found with the anti-air, I might do in another episode because it doesn't really need much covering. So I'll go over the tank first. The tank is probably the most deadly vehicle you can hop into that is on land, as it just deals the most damage, and you've got a nice machine gun that you can put on it, and you've got a really deadly main cannon that just does a crap ton of damage to other vehicles and one hits infantry if you're that good of a shot. So these are my recommendations for getting started if you're new to Battlefield. So, when you originally start using tanks in Battlefield, you're going to find that you do get, easily defeated by a lot of other high level tanks or just higher ranked players because they sort of know what they're doing, and you're just going into the fight, just shooting them with your main cannon, not really thinking about anything else, so not thinking about your position, not thinking about whether it's a disadvantage that they've got two tanks onto one, or whether you should even be engaging the other tank, because sometimes it's not even worth it if you know you're going to die anyway and not get much damage on the other vehicles. Sometimes it's better to go away, repair, and come back, or just wait for another teammate to assist you with taking out some of the vehicles. So that's where playing engineer comes really important. So when you're hopping into vehicles, in the gameplay, I'm not an engineer, but usually you do want to be playing engineer because that allows you to have a repair tool and anti-air. And when you're a tank, it's sometimes very good to have anti-air because when you're getting shot by an attack heli, and usually they don't have gunners, so you can usually hop out your tank and just shoot it and get it to go away. So then you hop in your tank and continue on your path. So that usually saves you from that. And then you've got your repair tool. So the repair tool allows you to repair your tank after it's been damaged by infantry or other tanks or LAVs, which is very handy because sometimes I found myself in situations where if I hadn't repaired myself, it would have been very hard to win some of the tank battles. And this is another point. It's always good to have a gunner that you know on the back of your, or not on the back of your tank, but being a gunner, as they can hop out if they're engineers and repair you on the go without you risking yourself, as they can just hop in the tank if anything bad happens. Whereas if you've got both people out the tank, it means the tank can easily be destroyed and other people can hop in it, and that doesn't really work out too well. So that's why I would recommend having someone else in the tank. And this also applies to the LAV, by the way, guys, because both are vehicles, so you may as well repair them and show off some of the anti-tank people, like the helicopters that are trying to kill you. Now I'll go over some of the recommendations for the shells in the tank. So the shells I would recommend is probably I'm pretty sure you start off with the 120mm AP round, so that's alright, it's nothing great. So then you get a higher damage round, which isn't too great, it's very slow. What I would recommend is the sabot shell. The sabot shell travels at a very high velocity, meaning it goes really fast, and it also doesn't deal the most damage, but just because of its speed and accuracy, you can definitely outgun tanks in long distance fights if you get enough practice. And this is where I recommend you guys actually play on mainly vehicle servers if you want to get good at it, because if it's an infantry server and a vehicle only pops up every 5 minutes or so, you're not really going to get much of a chance to play vehicle. But if you go on a server that's vehicle based, you can hop in your tank whenever you want. So that's it basically for the tank. Apart from the fact that this is a secondary weapon, I highly recommend using a machine gun or just a very powerful LMG or heavy machine gun that you can switch between the tank main cannon and then you switch to your 50 cal machine gun. So that's what I would recommend, because you can take out the infantry with your machine gun and take out the tanks with your cannon. So now comes the LAV. The LAV is slightly more complicated because it is, I find, very much weaker than the tank, just because it takes a lot more time to do the same damage as it would take a tank to do. This is why you've got to definitely equip the tow missiles on the LAVs. The tow missiles are relatively easy to use because you just aim where you want your missile to go. It is a bit slow, but it's definitely very accurate and you can get some pretty long range shots with it. And the main, I guess, shell that you'd want to be equipping with the, I guess, infantry fighting vehicle is probably the highest velocity shell you can get. From memory, it is the AFPF SDS or T. That's what it says on simfic.com, and I'm pretty sure that that is the best shell you can equip because I found its high velocity and just general ability to get long range shots definitely gives you advantage over the LAVs or tanks that have equipped the high damage shells that fire really slowly and unaccurately. So that's why I would recommend using this. And since you've got your tow missile on that, when you get into a situation with another vehicle, what you do, firstly, you injure them a bit with your tow missile. So you fire your tow missile at them, get them down a bit so you do a fair bit of damage, then you shoot them, then you switch to your shells and you shoot them with that until you have to reload, then you switch back to your what's it called, the tow missile, and then you shoot them again with that. Now, what a lot of advanced tank drivers would do, they'll put on active protection, and this is what I recommend you do for your LAVs and your tanks, and I guess anti-air as well if you're doing that, because it just means that you can take a few seconds without taking any damage. So if you know that the tank's about to shoot you, you just activate your active protection, it shoots you, you don't take any damage, and this applies if you're getting attacked by a jet. You just press the button which is X on the PC, it activates your active protection and you are safe for a few seconds. Now before you get active protection, it is going to be harder because you're only going to have, I guess, anti-lock-on smoke, which isn't too great, and it's going to be a bit of a disadvantage. But once you play a bit with a tank and you unlock everything, or LAV and you unlock everything, it's going to be pretty good. And as for your zoom optic, I'll just recommend having the zoom because you don't need thermal optics, and it's a lot easier to aim, especially with the high velocity shells with the zoom optic. So that's just about it for playing, I guess, land vehicles in Battlefield. If you have any questions about it, please leave it in the comments below, as I'll definitely reply to all of them. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a nice day.